Hello everybody. So I have my hat today here in Toronto, Mississauga. Again, it's snowing. I already shoveled snow this morning. I have to do that again. Not too much snow, but anyway, you have to shovel because you don't want to happen something in front of your door and maybe get some problems. So I have to do that. In today's video, I will talk to you about a little bit of everything. So let us start. It will be like, let us start first, a lot of information. So let's start with this mixer. I bought this mixer somewhere in May at Long McQuaid, my favorite music store in Canada here. It is QSC TouchMix 60. I like this mixer very much. I had a Line 6. I like Line 6 very much. I never had any problem with my Line 6. But lately I start to experience problem with this mixer, with this one. And that problem, it was problem that mixer shuts down during performing. In the middle of the performing, people are on a dance floor and poof, you are losing power. It is something that nobody wants to have. It happened first time on New Year's Eve, after 6 months of using of this mixer. I was exploring what is going on, what is happening to my mixer. I was thinking it is new, I take good care about mixer. So, and then with a little bit help of research on the internet and a little bit of experimenting, I found out that nothing is wrong with mixer. Mixer is good, but there is situation with this guy. So this guy and this connection is loose connection, and it loses sometimes connection and mixer will power off and again on. It will restart by itself, reboot. Sometimes it will just power off, you have to power on. So and I did some kind of research and I found out that all the series of those products, they don't have number here on top. Look at there is that part of them, that part, and this part should have number. And there is number. It doesn't matter which number is there. If you have number, you are okay. If you don't have number, it may happen to you as well. Older, those parts, they don't have any number. Newer parts, they have number. So it is very hard to see that number. I am using my glasses, or you can, magnifying glasses, you can use anything to see, because if I show you like this, it's very hard to see. You can see something is there, but not number exactly. If you have too much light, if you have enough light, I don't have, I'm here in my basement, so I don't have enough light to see. I can see that, I can see there is some number, but if I put my glasses just to magnify that, to see that number, I don't need glasses, but okay, 1807, number is 1807. If you have number 1808, 1809, 1809, whatever number you have, you are fine. So just make sure if you have number. If you don't have number, you may be in problem. So do some research. If you have mixer under warranty, call your supplier and ask them under warranty to change that part, to have that new part with number, if you are under warranty. If you are not under warranty, I think so you have to, I think you have to pay, because it is not like car recall or something that you will get it for free. But you can fight, maybe you will get it for free. Yeah, you have right to fight. That was about that mixer. Now next thing about Genos and thirds, intervals. So some people say, I had comment this morning, so anyway, it sounds synthetic, those thirds. It will be better if you have live performer. Okay, everybody knows. Live performer, you cannot compare instrument and computer with live people, with live performer who has feeling. And in live performing, people are not perfect. They cannot play all those intervals together right away on the time. Even with one hand, it will be slightly not on time. So, and that is live performing, about live performing, and that is something that is good. It's actually natural. In computer performing, everything is perfect and on time, but we can simulate that. But anyway, computer is computer. Now, I made on Genos thirds, so intervals, let me play them. So those are upper thirds, major, minor. So I'm playing just one note and I have thirds. One note and third. So, and I can transpose them. I can make them easily to work in scale, and they are perfect. They work upon every rule that exists in scale. So, now, if I make lower thirds with just minor third, they're okay, but we don't need them actually too much. We are not using them too much. We are mostly using lower third with fourth. We down fourth on first note, and sometimes fifth lower interval on second note. So it goes like this. Because if you play C major with regular lower third, you don't have feeling that it's C major, you have feeling that it's A minor, because a lower third is A, and it seems like that you are playing actually A minor. So, but you want to have feeling of major. So now I'm going to play lower third that I made that will work properly on tonic with interval fourth instead of third. It's like this. Now you have feeling that you are in major, and you have some kind of interval that is pleasant interval that you can hear. It is because we have here on this position we have, so on first note we have fourth, other are third. So it is possible to make, but not with this user scale. You have to detune this sound that you need to work as a lower third. Only that one. You have to actually do note shifting for that one to work on that way. If you make it and do note shifting, now this scale, it will not be able to work in transpose mode like other scales. Look at that. It is not correct interval. It is this. You need this. So that means it will not work. So in most down interval, where what we have to do when we have to do those scales with this kind of work, with fourth and fifth on second voice, it will not work. Let me just show you how it looks if I use fifth instead. Okay, now we have this. So now this is scale that we need to play a lot of songs. So especially folk songs, especially from my countries, when we need to play some Balkan scales, when we need to play some major scales, even some minor scales where we have on first key we have fourth and sometimes fifth. So it will not work on this way, but it will work on another way that used to be you have to make 12 keys, and for each key you have to do just regular note shifting of those critical notes, but still 12 key. So actually in this case you don't need scale, you can make all those scales. You don't need to use user scale. You can do that with just note shifting in your program that is called Expansion Manager. Now, let me now compare a little bit those thirds with Korg thirds. So we will not talk about lower thirds because lower intervals we can make them work in Korg. We can make them here, but not so efficient like in Korg. But upper thirds, actually they work better here than on Korg in terms of accuracy. I'm not talking about sound. Sound is whatever you prefer, whatever you hear, whatever you like. But I'm talking about accuracy, because some notes in Korg you can make ensemble thirds. If you make them, you know that your tonic or your lower key is locked. It has to be locked. So in this case pitch has to be locked. In this case you cannot use pitch. So this is disadvantage. If you are making them in oscillator mode, then you know that in oscillator mode mapping goes from note to next note, next half note. It goes from C to C sharp or from A to A sharp. To work that perfect with all scales, especially particular scales like this, when we have need, then we have, for example, if we are playing A minor, we have need that this note B has third D, and B flat has as well third D. We cannot make it there because that relation should be like note. We should be able to make on same note A note. We should to do pitch shifting, but in Korg those zones, that zone goes from A to A sharp. It cannot stay on A. So that's why with those scales it will not work. In decay scales, it means making scale thirds on in decay mode, user decay. It is lacking a lot of functionality comparing to user 1, 2, 3, 4. So, but now there's another point that I want to mention to you about thirds intervals made here on Yamaha keyboard or Korg keyboard, about usability of them. There is big difference, because now listen, this what is very important. In Yamaha we have sounds, but we don't have preferences that we have in Korg. When you click on sound and you go to presets, you can see here them sorted by organ sounds, string sounds, wind wood sounds, acoustic guitar, electric guitar. You point to which group you want to choose, acoustic guitar, and you point to instrument. Same story you have in Korg, in sound and preferences as well, especially if you are using user preferences and you can name them. Instead of favorite, you can put what do you have there, which group of instruments. Now, what do you have there? When you press to preference, you have in every preference you have combination of 3 sound, and you can see visible group of the preferences, press to them, and then choose whatever sound combination you made there. If it's that third or any other combination, sixth, interval, or just combination of the sounds. That is extremely usable and flexible. Here you can do next. If you want to make combination of the sounds on Genos, you make combination, you go to memory and you choose voice, scale, tune, whatever you want to save. We are not talking now anymore about styles. We are not going to choose styles. We want to save combination of the sounds. Now we can save them on registration memory. But that registration memory is for combination of the sounds, and it could be used for songs as well. Same registration. And that registration, if we have, on this registration we can have 10 sounds, so not all thirds that are part of the scale, C, C sharp, if we have 12 scales, we have just 10 of them. 10 of them. So we have to make new bank. But if we are going to banks, from bank to bank, sometimes we have to press a lot of buttons to get to the banks. Just press 2 buttons and choose bank, and then choose, let us say, upper thirds or something like that. But you have to walk through that functionality. In Korg, songbook is separated from preferences that are combination of the sounds, and combination of the sounds that are visible, they have buttons. You press button of accordion, you will just be right away in combination of the sounds. You can go to sound mode, you can go to the combination mode right away and choose whatever combination. When we play in live performing, especially if we don't have a particular list of the song that we have to play in that order, we have to jump from song to song, genre to genre, sound to sound, and we have to work very fast. We need flexibility and usability of operating system that will allow us to do that. So, on this way, we click songbook button, put number we are in song, or we can see songs. Or we can press to style, go to the styles. Go to preferences, and we have our sounds combinations. So go to any combination right away. On touch screen or on your keyboard, when you go just to the, you remember it, you can go to set lists, or you can go to preferences, just with one pressing of the function. And now on your screen, you have all a list of group of the sounds and sounds. That is amazing flexibility that will allow you to work much faster, more efficient, and much better. It is much better flow work that you have here on a Korg than on Genos. That is a very important functionality for live performing. Now, that is about this part of Genos. Now we will move to the next part. So this video is about everything, a little bit of everything. It is mostly answering a group of the comments that I had on my videos. Now let us talk about audio keyboards, Ketron, and talk about SD. It was a lot of questions. Do we have to move from audio to SD, and why if we have to move? I think you don't have to, but it will be a lot of benefit to move. And I will tell you main points why you should move from audio keyboards to new series SD90. First, your audio keyboard is old technology that exists more than 15 years. It doesn't have touch screen. It is used for a lot of period of time. And now it is not going to be updated like new series of the keyboard, because it will be just updated if they have to fix something really they have to fix. But they cannot afford to put a lot of money for doing a new operating system with a lot of big changes for audio, because that is old product, that is past, that is gone. You can still use because it has some muscles, it has good sound, and you can use it for more situation, and maybe you are you like that sound, it is in your ears, you are working with it so much, and that you want to keep with this, it is still working, but it has a lot of disadvantage. This new operating system with touch screen, with possibility to have a lot of updates, because it is current model and it will be updated, and it is recently updated, and we are expecting it will be updated. New instrument, new features, new kind of thinking. It sounds great, same like audio. To me, better than audio. To you, maybe you have to need some time to now. It's always going to be a slight difference between two instruments, older and new generation. Difference exists in Korg PA1, 2, 3, 4. Not just. It is not just about instrument that has new features. It is about instrument that sounds differently. So Korg PA1, PA2, compare them. They sound differently. PA3, in my opinion, the best sounding Korg instrument in PA series is PA3. So that is my personal opinion. I found out that PA4 sounds a little bit more, let's say, I don't like this word. It is not, it is muddy, a little bit more muddy, comparing to PA3, but just a little bit. But it is not muddy instrument. It does sound muddy. It's good instrument. But people use that word. I couldn't find now at this moment better word than that one. But that is my opinion about that. So, Ketron people, I think you should move to new Ketron. And other people who wants to move to Ketron, that reason to move Ketron is sound, and especially sound of the rhythm section, especially if you are using two keyboards. So it has some bugs as well. We know them. They will be fixed, and you can live with them. But it sounds great, and you can go around that. Some functionality that will be improved. It will be improved. So I'm using, and I'm happy with Ketron. Of course, I am fighting, always in contact with those people from Ketron. And by the way, I have really good relations with them, because they are listening. They are listening, and they are taking care about it. They are answering to my emails. And I have really good, healthy communication. It is something that I feel that I am appreciated, that as a customer, they are listening to my word. Last thing that I want to mention is Kontakt. Kontakt, I'm thinking not about Kontakt with me, I'm thinking about KontaktVST, virtual instrument Kontakt. So I'm using that for years. It is actually virtual instrument that you can install in your computer. It will behave on the same way like your workstation, like your any instrument. So in your computer, depends on quality of your computer. If you have MacBook, I'm using MacBook because I believe them. They are expensive, it is true, but you can have them for years. My MacBook is always ready here whenever I need it, on road or here in studio. Inside is my beautiful MacBook. So inside I have Kontakt. Inside of my Kontakt I have 16 MIDI tracks with 16 MIDI instruments. Every of them has 128 instruments, and every of them behave like general MIDI instruments. It is almost, you can put here whole library from Ketron keyboard, almost, not whole, in general MIDI format. And you can use it in live performing, or you can use it in studio. So whenever you don't need to bring something else, you just bring this and your library. And here I have library of my sounds from Korg, Yamaha, Ketron, another keyboards, Roland. I have Alessis keyboards and some Nord samples instruments. So whatever you want, you can sample, you can put it there, and you can have it. And how you can control it? You can have MIDI controller, or you can have something like this that I have here, Novation. You can call sounds, you can mix sounds, you can call upper sounds, lower sounds, you can do whatever you want to do with this Novation. So people who want to use that, he must have some knowledge. So don't think, some of you think it is easy thing. You just buy it and everything is there. Nothing is there. It is instrument that you can do with this a lot of things, but you must have a huge knowledge to do this. So, but you can learn that. If you want to, you can learn everything, whatever you want to learn, just if you want to. Now, if you want, you can control those sounds with your iPad. I have here sounds 8 times 7. So combination with names, I can call sounds from my iPad. I have laptop with my Kontakt, with my sounds on side. I have this in front of me. I am controlling laptop from here and from any MIDI controller. From here I am calling sounds. So, and from MIDI controller depends on functionality of MIDI controller. Or you can control your instrument from Korg PA4. You cannot control it from Genos. You cannot control it from Ketron because they are limited. You can play from there, but not control. Why you cannot control? Because Korg has possibility to put on a sound upper 1, 2, or 3 external instrument and program, put numbers, message, and save it preferences. When you save it preferences, you just name it and call it accordion K, means accordion Ketron, or guitar K, or rock guitar, solo guitar K, Ketron. So you are playing Korg, but on your Korg, you are calling sounds that are memorized in your Korg from Kontakt, from your laptop. And you are making combination of the sounds with your Korg. So Korg can do that because it can save sounds. This guy, you cannot program that and save that program, memorize, because actually that combination of the sounds, let me see something here. Yeah, there is not that control. Yeah, and it doesn't have preference mode. It has just registration mode, and you are limited whatever is in registration mode. In Ketron you cannot do that. You can call some external sounds, but you cannot memorize them. So now that is about that. Now some people told in comments that actually because of latency it is unusable. It is not true. You have two versions, standalone version and version that you are using as a VST through Pro Tools, Cubase, Logic Pro, or any other software. So if you are using through software, make sure that you are not using any other plugins in line or especially on main output. There will cause latency. But if you are working on project, don't use those. It is not enough just to turn them off. You have to get rid of those plugins, and then you will not have latency. But if you are using that in live performing, you will not use that through software. You will use it as a standalone. So, in this case, you don't have at all any kind of latency. It doesn't matter if you are using audio card from my MacBook or any another audio card. Of course, if you have better audio cards, you will have better sound. If you have an audio card with more outputs, you can direct some sounds to different outputs. That is something that is bonus if you have audio card. But it is not necessary to have audio card because this MacBook will sound just fine. So this is a lot of things that we covered in this video, and hopefully it will give you some ideas and it gave you some answers from your comments, and I like to hear from you your opinion. If you agree with something, if you don't, if you disagree, put everything below as a comment. Please subscribe, and if you have any another question related to those things, please put comment and I will answer to you those questions. Thank you very much for watching this video. It is a little bit longer video, but it is a lot of good information for you. Have a nice day.